Okay, YouTube. We are back for episode dos. We ended the last one with next steps. Are we going to have to change our camera? Is the old trusty Nikon D5500 gonna work? Is it enough camera? And quick to the point. A lot of you out there are probably gonna say absolutely. The best camera is the camera you have in your hand. But if you want to be a professional photographer, and this is my conclusion, you need a professional camera. I never want my camera to be the limiting factor in any situation. And I'm a nerd and I want a nice camera. That's it. How do you decide what kind of camera to get? You want to be a professional photographer? You want to have a professional quality camera? How do you decide what factors are important when making the decision to buy a professional camera? And I've kind of limited it down to a small list. I'm sure there's other things, but I've made a small list of things that I think are most important in no particular order, but the things I think are most important. First off, sensor size. My D5500 was an APS-C called a crop sensor. Y'all are probably all familiar with it. And I really, I'm not satisfied with that. So I want a camera that is a full frame sensor. Why full frame? Full frame is larger. It's gonna gather more light. It's gonna give me better detail. It's gonna give me less noise. And these are things I hope to get into more in future videos because I still don't understand a lot of them completely. But you want a larger sensor to gather more information to take a higher quality picture. And so I'm choosing to go with a full frame camera for that reason. Another thing that's important to me is IBIS, in-body image stabilization. You got your camera, you take the picture, you look at it, and it's blurry. It's not good for nobody. IBIS reduces the shake in your hand. It's an image stabilizing system. And the benefit you get from that is crisper shots, more usable shots. And if you're gonna do this professionally, which I hope to do, I need as many usable shots. I need as many not blurry images. Best way to put that. And so I want to try to find a camera with a decent IBIS system in it. The next thing is, bottom line, you want high quality images. And one factor in that is how many megapixels are your photos? How many dots of information are in that picture? It seems like across the board, regardless of manufacturers, there's kind of three tiers, and that's your 24 megapixel professional cameras, like the new Nikon Z8 III, amazing camera. And then you have your line of 45 megapixel cameras, where it's the Canon EOS R5 or the Nikon Z8 or the Z7 II. A lot of the manufacturers are making these 45 megapixel cameras. And kind of the third tier in that lineup are your 60 megapixel guys, your Sony A7R5s, your Sony, well, that's the A1, that's at 50 megapixel, Panasonic, Leica, they are putting out 60 megapixel sensors. And so I want a camera with a high megapixel count, but not so high that it's gonna be a data size problem where my images are just these huge files. And that's something I've had to look into, and what's too big? Is there too big? What's manageable? Pros and cons, you gotta weigh that out. Next thing I want, this is something I'm a little loose on, something I don't know a whole lot about yet, but it is something I will need as a professional photographer, and that is I will need to be able to take video. It seems like our top tier cameras out there now are running 8K, which I don't even know who has a TV who can play 8K, so I don't really know why. But Probably gives you a lot of cropping capability and things like that, which is one of the benefits of those high megapixel cameras. You can really crop in on a photo, say, I don't like all this crap in the bottom corner, and you can isolate your subject in post. But I need a camera that can do good quality video, and 8K seems to be the bar to meet there. I also need a camera that has good autofocus. If your subject isn't in focus, it doesn't matter how great of an image it is. It's not usable. And I'm not buying a manual focus camera. I mean, I want to get I don't know who does. I mean, but I need good autofocus, reliable. I've seen a lot of these camera systems. It's amazing what they can focus on now with subject detection, with airplanes and birds, and obviously eye tracking. But it's amazing what the autofocus in these cameras can do now. Blows away that Nikon D550 I had. That was just extremely crude compared to what a lot of these new ones will do. So I want a good autofocusing camera. Small tick, but I want something that's comfortable. I read about a lot of these cameras where they're really boxy in their shape, and if it's something you're going to be using professionally, if it's going to be a tool that I'm going to be using a lot, I need something that's comfortable in my hand. I don't want a brick that's 400 pounds lugging around, and I want something that's comfortable. So just one small thing that I do want to be looking at, and lenses, the system. I'm learning everywhere I read. This is really important. What you can do as a photographer, is limited by the system of lenses that your camera will accept. How large is that family of primes and telephotos and macro? Do they accept third-party lenses from companies like Sigma or Viltrox? Because you are limited by the lenses you can put on it, and the way you view, what you're taking photos of. And lastly, I want my camera to be something that is a universally versatile tool. I'm only going to have one, at least in the beginning. I hope I get to the point where I need to, but I'm only going to have one. And I need a camera that can do a little bit of everything. I need something that I can use at a wedding, that can take great stills of people posing for photos. But I also need something that's great for high speed. If I go to my nephew's baseball game, I want to catch that baseball midair right before he hits it. I want something that can do a little bit of everything, and not all cameras can. So I need to find something that meets that balance. I'm obviously not going to get a medium format Fuji, which is just unbelievable for something like portraits and in studio work, to take down to the baseball field. That would probably be pretty huge and cumbersome, and might not have the best autofocus or frame rate to capture that kind of thing. It would be out of place. So I need to find something that can do a little bit of all of it, and that's important. And lastly, price. I'm not made of money. That's why I want to start doing photography. I need to find something that is affordable, that has an affordable system of lenses behind it, and that's going to last. It's going to be a quality piece of equipment, a quality tool that I can use to take good photos. And with all those factors to consider, I have thought about it and looked and read, made up my mind, and then changed my mind. And I have finally come to a conclusion. And so this video is actually, I see these online all the time, so I figure I'll do it too. This video is an unboxing of my first professional digital camera. Drum roll. I have no drum. I bought the Nikon Z8. I haven't opened this box yet. It just came in today, and I'm ridiculously tickled. I I'm going to start opening it while I talk because I can't stand it. But I chose this camera because it seems to be the most versatile of a lot of the choices. Again, I'll preface all this before I get going, but everything in this price range, from the Canon Mark V, EOS R5, to the Sony A7R5, amazing camera, I almost went that way, to this one, to so many others, anything in this price range is an amazing camera. And if you could time travel and go back 10 years ago, you'd blow the world away with what that camera could do. Because the technology just moves so fast from the one I had in high school to this, good Lord. But I chose this because it is so versatile. And it's a Nikon. I already had a Nikon. And I believe it's something that I'm going to be familiar with the menus. I'm going to be familiar with a lot of the settings, manuals. I hate it when they show all the stupid stuff in a box. Show me the important stuff. Let's see how you do this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is all. Ooh, definitely got a little more heft to it than the D550. Oh man! Oh, I can't wait to take photos with this. Let's just set our trash over here. Now, let's just throw it out of frame because y'all can't see what's out of frame. Oh man! I bought it because everywhere I read, they said this camera was incredibly comfortable. It's a little larger, definitely larger than the A7R5 from Sony. It's definitely larger than the EOS R5 from Canon. But it is very comfortable in the hand. And that makes for putting larger lenses, telephoto lenses on it, something like that. Hopefully give it a good balance. Ooh. With this kit, again, my theme here was versatility. I chose the kit lens. Yes, sir. This is the 24-140 S Nikkor lens. Gets great reviews. Everything I've read about Nikon lenses is, you really can't say too much bad about them. They're great lenses. I've watched a ton of little lens review videos online, and so much of it is over my head, but the Nikons always perform very well, at least on par with all their competitors. And this, with a focal length of 24 to 120, gives me an incredible amount of versatility, from punching in to zooming out for some wide angle shots. I tell you what. All right, and then we just got some hoopla bags, straps, batteries, which are important. This thing operates off electricity, and so you must have a power source. Otherwise, all right, and we'll deal with all these cables and stuff later. Y'all don't care about any of that anyway. This is really cool. This is really cool. What do you say we just set this to the side? Out of frame, out of mind, right? Ha ha! Let's pop this off. Hold on. Oh, I'm so tickled. I don't know what to do. Oh my. And that's it. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Everybody likes this part, right? Right? We're going to get this piece of plastic here. It's supposed to be super satisfying. It is pretty satisfying. All right. Well, everybody, this is it. This is the Nikon Z8. This is my first professional camera. I'm super excited to have it. I can't wait to sit down and play with it for the next 3 hours and start figuring stuff out so I can talk to you about it in my next video. Lastly, to recap, because I knew I wanted to, but I chose this one because it hit all those sweet spots. This is a 45 megapixel sensor. It's not so high as the Sony, but it's plenty high for high resolution photography and low enough so that my frame rate, the rate at which I can take photos, it can handle that data flow and take, it's 20 frames a second, I believe. This is also a fully stacked sensor as opposed to the backside illuminated CMOSs in, I believe the Sony has that or the Canon did. Either way, it's the only fully stacked full-size sensor out of the three that I was considering. And that allows for a lot of speed. 20 frames a second is pretty impressive. This does have IBIS. It's got 6 stops of IBIS, which I think is going to be just fine. It's going to be plenty. It does 8K video. It is super comfortable in my hand. The system of lenses, this is Nikon. They've got everything you could want. More than I need by any stretch of the imagination, especially at this point. And lastly, she's super versatile, all the way down to the lens I chose with a software system that hopefully I am remotely familiar with. So I'm super excited. Nikon Z8, I love it. I can't wait to take some pictures with it. I'll share them with you in further videos. Thank you for watching my channel. I can't wait to do some more videos and show you how we're coming along.